Hey everybody, welcome to I Am Reality, where you're the star and the story of your reality. I am Mitch.
And I am Stephania.
And today we have a wonderful topic. The topic is I am the evidence. And I am the evidence is really, really powerful. Where I am the evidence is really where you are the star and story of your beliefs, really creating them, entertaining what you prefer, being fulfilled in the moment. That's evidence, right, Steph?
The belief, the thought alone is the evidence, guys, that you will experience what you wish to experience. And, segueing from our last episode where I am the winner, I am winning, I'm always winning, is because there's a continuation to life, right? So there's different scenes that just because one scene it didn't go as you planned, or maybe the winning moment was not in that particular scene, all you have to do is purify it because you are the winner. You are the evidence within yourself, and the evidence is the fact alone that you can think about it, you can cultivate it, you can entertain it. And through that emotional reception, really, that you are fulfilling in yourself, within yourself, you become the evidence, and the world has to bend, move, and reflect everything that you have chosen yourself to be.
Yeah, 100%. And you're really the winner. So we talked about it on one of our last episodes being the winner. And being a winner is a lot of fun, right? Because regardless of what game you're in, you're always championing yourself to win. Any game you would be in, you'd never say, well, I might not win this game. It's not really part of who you are. And it's a lot of fun to entertain always being a winner because you're always championing yourself. You're your own best friend. And that's the evidence. The evidence is you always believe how you feel, right? So you always believe how you feel. That's evidence because you always believe how you feel. And love is effortless believing, as we know. So when you entertain what you prefer, it is fulfilling. It's fun. It's very empowering to have fun because you're no longer waiting for someone or something to define you or to make you feel a certain way. You're making yourself
Yeah.
feel a certain way, and that is the evidence. That is fun, and that's what we're here for. We're truly here for fulfillment because that's what love does.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just so cool to see how powerful we are and in the way that we can embellish our lives, right? And it starts with your thoughts, your minds. You're giving yourself this creative freedom to be the evidence of your life. So, for example, something that I was sharing with Mitch was that, a lot of times we go out into the world or we have these conversations with people, right? And we have experiences and they're lovely. Or sometimes sometimes the illusion of doubt starts creeping into our minds, like when you're like, oh my God, did I say this? Why did I say this? What do they really mean when they said this to me? Or when somebody looked at me this way? And this is all
Mhm.
happening in your mind. This is all drama being created in your imagination that you can give direction to, you guys. So, this is the biggest reminder where, like, if you have any doubts where you're like, oh, like, what is this person thinking of me? Did I say the wrong thing? You get to choose. You get to choose that everybody loves you. You get to choose that everybody, thinks you're intelligent, that they appreciate, even if you have a difference in ideas or beliefs, they appreciate your perspective, right? Because in reality, everybody's living their own reality, right? And their own evidence of their own experience. And it's so different. However, it's also so cool that we have contrast. So somebody else, just because they have a different opinion, doesn't mean they see you as any less or think of you any other different way other than the fact that you're loved, safe, and supported. Why? Because you're choosing that you're loved, you're safe, you're supported, and you're extremely valuable.
Yeah, and I think that what really goes to show is we ask ourselves these questions, right? Is this really true? So we ask these questions on a regular basis because the only truth, as we know, the truth will set you free, is love. So when we ask ourselves these questions, is this really true? That's what evidence is. That's what evidence is. And there's a great line that I've heard. I think Jake Ducey on one of his channels said, lack of evidence is not evidence of lack. Lack of evidence is not evidence of lack. So when you
That
don't
was
see
good.
something, it doesn't mean that you don't have it, or it's not you, or it really means this or really means that. You're the evidence. That's what that means. Lack of evidence
Yeah.
is not evidence of lack because you're the evidence. So asking yourself, is this really true? That's the evidence. That's the true evidence. That is the truth.
This is so true, you guys, because, like, It's just really beautiful. It's forgiveness, is knowing that you're the evidence of the life that you wish to experience. And there's something that Mitch always says, and this is a really good reminder that everything you want to experience in your physical life, they're just objects. So they're just not only objects, but they're symbols, right? They're
Mhm.
symbols to fulfillment. So you think you want the bigger house, you think you want the car, you think you want the relationship, and you want more, 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 which
Mm,
there's nothing wrong with the expansion of your creative freedom, right? It's beautiful. You get to live it. However, these objects are just symbols of the love you already are. Why? Because why do you want to have a family? Because you want to feel loved and supported, right? Why do you want a bigger house? Because you want to feel more support from your financial endeavors, like things of that sort. And just really know that it's coming from you. You're giving these things life. Again, you are the evidence that animates these physical symbols to be in your external reflection, right? And it's silly because I know the internal and the external, I kind of like what Joseph would say, nuance points, right? So it's all you and it's all one. And it is through your understanding of being fulfilled now, being here now. There's no longer any past. You can right now choose a new direction for yourself, a new identity, which is just fulfillment, right? And you can evidently choose fun things to experience, objects, people, things, places. And like Mitch mentioned at the beginning of this video, it's just fun. Like, it gets to be fun, removing that layer of, like, anxious, "How is this gonna happen? Like, I don't have this enough," and, like, that overwhelming shame and condemnation that doesn't need to be there because it's not who you are.
yeah, and, like you said, Steph, these are symbols. So all symbols have meaning, right? So it's what Neville teaches is what does this imply? That's a real key word here. What does it imply? When he's saying that, it means what does this mean? Everything always goes back to meaning. So a symbol is what it implies. So you look at money, for instance. So money implies whatever it is to you. Many people imply money is wealth, money is prosperity. But what we're doing is we're actually worshiping the thing instead of ourselves. It's not really the money that we're worshiping really the state of being, which is prosperity, which is affluence. That's really what we're desiring to do. And then what happens is we create a feeling state, which becomes a mold. And that's the evidence because we truly believe how we feel, and that's what the symbol implies. So whenever we look at a picture, we light up a frame, as we call it. We're lighting up a meaning. So, for instance, I like to always use the big smile and the big thumbs up. That's a symbol. It could mean infinite things. It has no one meaning, but it's what it implies. So you're not doing something to get something. You're doing it to imply a meaning, to give a meaning. That's what you're really doing. You're not doing it. Okay, well, I see the money, and you're doing that to get.
Right.
You're evoking a feeling state, a state of being, a meaning. So the symbol just brings the meaning. So you can actually drop the picture. You don't need the picture anymore because you're evoking a feeling state. So you're evoking a feeling state. Everything is agreeing to big smile, big thumbs up, celebration, congratulations. It's done. I did it. The feeling of already being, that's what you're really evoking, the feeling of already being, because then you're not
Yeah.
desiring anymore. And that's the evidence. Because think about it. If you're able to now evoke a state of being that you already have something, and you see the big smile and the big thumbs up, which is love. It's effortless believing. That is the evidence because now you're in a different feeling state. The question is, who did it? Who did it? And that's the only essence in the world is God imagination because nothing else did it. You have effortless believing. That's the evidence, and you're really worshiping yourself. That is what evidence is, and it's truly believing. Believing in yourself is the evidence. That's ultimately what we're
Yeah.
doing here.
Yeah. And like, it's really interesting, and I've said this before, but I want to reemphasize when you're looking for financial security, right? You're just seeking for security, which is not something you can seek because it comes from your awareness, right? Your conviction, your self-assuredness of who you are and knowing that's the biggest thing and the only thing that will give you true security. Because how many times have we witnessed experiences of people that gain a lot of money, but then they're still not secure? Like they don't feel secure. Now they're so scared they're going to lose it. So, how is that any financial security if they're so afraid and walking around, looking into the world of somebody trying to take it from them and creating so much drama, right? So, like, really remember that, guys, that your only security and peace of mind is going to be understanding that you are the awareness that's giving you the momentum of life. You're giving yourself continuity. It's not the financial resources. The financial resources have carried on this new definition in most of like human societal psychology, right? They think the money is what's giving me security of continuity, right? Like it's almost like associated like if I don't have any money, I can't live another day. But guess what? You will. You're gonna live so many more days with or without the financial resources because the financial resources are a byproduct of you. The financial resources are a byproduct of your awareness and it's being cultivated by you right now. It's in your mind. You are the one giving it momentum. Mitch had a really cool story with me. I don't know if we've said it in a video. No, you haven't said it in a video, Mitch, about the egg. Like how
Oh
like
yeah,
when a hen is laying on an egg, it's like it's getting ready for life, but that's really what it is. That's how I
that's
see all
great.
of reality. The
Yeah.
desire comes, it's incubated, and then it just, the egg cracks open and you get to experience it. But maybe Mitch has a better way of explaining
Yeah,
it.
that is a great segue to that, that reference is that when a chicken does lay on an egg, it is never well, think about the first time a chicken's ever laid an egg. It has no conception that it lays an egg. It has no conception of keeping something warm, which is really in consciousness. The chicken, I don't know if it does have consciousness or whatever, but it does know that something's gonna happen. That's a fact. It knows that it's something's going to happen that it has never experienced before. A chicken is not you can't chicken's not taught, it doesn't go to school, it's instinctual, we know that. But it knows and that just shows you the sheer power of what our existence is, that we do live by this consciousness of knowing, of assuming what's going to happen, whether it's we can learn from animals. I mean, the fact that a chicken is sitting on an egg and knows something's gonna happen is really is a teaching tool for ourselves that if we keep something warm in consciousness, something's going to happen. Where we place our attention is where we place our energy. So simply by
Mhm.
keeping something warm in consciousness, it is proof that it will hatch out. And Neville actually teaches hatching out in many of his
Yeah.
lectures. So we can learn from this easily, and we know that it's inevitable. It will hatch out.
Yeah, and I love this because forever, I've been saying reality is like an egg, there's infinite eggs and they keep like hatching and more realities open up and more experiences, right? It doesn't have to be so esoteric. It's just literally an experience. Like, what is a weekend, guys? What do you do on the weekend? You have experiences, right? You conceive them. You're in your mind. You're like, okay, well, I would like to do this, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's going to the beach or going snowboarding, I don't know, but you think about it first and then you execute it, right? And something that we do here on this channel is that before you do something you haven't done before, you don't have to know the how because obviously going to a restaurant, you know how to get into a car or take a bus, and you know how to get to a restaurant because we're already, that's a normal thing for us. We can use our GPS on our phones, and it's an easy process, right? But like think outside the box too. If you want something new, if you want new experiences, you have desires. The desires leading you, that's your North Star. It's like, okay, so what do I want to experience next? And typically, if you find discomfort in your life, right? Like if something that you don't prefer is there, easy. There's your North Star. Just change it to what you prefer. So instead of being like, oh, I don't like blah, 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 I don't want to give examples of what people complain about in this video, but just look around, like whatever you feel imprisoned by, that's the illusion. That's your North Star to go the opposite direction, like you can even play with this in so many ways. I mean, oh my God, I make so many fun things happen. Like even people are like, "Oh, well, there's no, I don't know, Taiwanese restaurants in the area." And I'll just imagine that there is. And, like in a couple of months, there's a new Taiwanese restaurant in the area. So it could be as simple as that. Like what do you really want to have fun experiencing, giving life to? And it doesn't have to be so tedious as like imagining all the time because a lot of the things that I tell Mitch happen in my life, I literally am just speaking things into existence. Like, wouldn't it be fun if this happens? Wouldn't it be fun to see dolphins? Wouldn't it be
Mhm.
fun to have a butterfly land on my hand? Like, what else can you create? Like, how fun is that, you guys?
Yeah, 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 100%. Yeah, and you really start to get empowered by being the evidence. It becomes so much fun because you're
Yeah,
able to really entertain. I mean, entertaining, that's listen, what is entertaining? Entertaining is fun, right? That's the whole word of it. And, whenever you entertain something, you actually believe it. You actually believe what you entertain. It's automatic. So if what you entertain, you believe, that means it's evidence.
yeah,
That means it's evidence. Just like the chicken on the egg is evident. That chicken knows it's gonna hatch. That's the evidence.
yeah,
Knowing is evidence. That's what knowing is. And you could even take it one step further. Listen, you get in your car, right? You're about to drive to your destination. You know you're going to arrive safely. You don't get in a car saying, I might get into an accident. Otherwise, you wouldn't get in the car. So the evidence always precedes, always. You're always proceeding in imagination, the evidence. You're always
yeah,
entertaining that because you always entertain love. You would never. It's just we take it for granted. We take it for granted. We open the door, we get in, we automatically know we're safe. But there could be a
yeah.
million things that could happen. But we
And
always entertain the evidence that we're safe.
And I wanna emphasize this, Mitch, because I actually had an experience with somebody this weekend that they didn't feel safe in the car and for whatever reason, and they were, creating drama or even saying like, "Oh, like these people are out to get me." And again, guys, again, you're creating the evidence, right? So really like start applying this. I'm always safe, the roads open up for me. Everybody loves when I drive. Everybody's always like in harmony with where I move, and the path is always green, right? Green lights only. Like you really are so powerful that you can start playing with these concepts. And then once you start seeing the evidence that it does, reflect your momentum, it's going to start being a lot more fun. So, like, something that helped me a lot too, because I was in cars with maybe the illusion of people that were not driving so well. I would just say, like, I have angels, like, nothing bad can happen to me. I have angels, and it's true. It starts becoming your truth and it becomes really powerful. And you start seeing things that, instead of seeing the accidents on the road, you see, oh, how good is it that it wasn't worse, right? Really, like it was like a fender bender. It wasn't an actual, terrible accident. Or if it was actually like a something bigger, you send it love. You're like, well, I pray that everybody's like in good conditions and that everything goes better because we're always really aligned in the best way possible. But when you keep that memory of that fear in your mind, you see something, you're like, you see terrible things are happening around me, then now you're fueling those realities. Now that's your evidence. It's not safe out there. Everybody's out to get each other and the world is whatever, which is all an illusion. So, really, like, even if you go out and you have an interaction with somebody that wasn't maybe so kind to you, purify it, just like what Mitch was saying, like where he's like, "Oh, I heard him forgive me," or "I forgave him." Really, we're just forgiving the experience, right? "I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you," which is the Ho'oponopono
Yeah.
that we were talking about. We can probably do an episode on that too, but I swear by that prayer because it was like it removed that anxiety of like thinking somebody did something to me where I was like, I'm forgiving my awareness from coming into this direction where I felt attacked because I'm the one animating and evidently creating everything. So when you purify it, you let it go. And like, guys, there's gonna be more people like you, more kind people, more people that are like full of love, that want to help you out, that want to support you. And remember that. Remember that part about humanity. Because if you really start remembering the things that didn't work out and you didn't prefer, it's not going to be as comfortable for you. And you're going to experience more of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it really the message here is this, is that your truth is the proof. Your
Mhm.
truth is the proof, and that when we say proof, that's evidence, right? Your truth
Yeah.
is the proof, you are the evidence, and that's what we're really getting into in this video is that you are the evidence, and maybe, Steph, why don't you walk us through I had a question for you. So you embody that you're safe, supported, and loved. So what walk us through that. Like, so you're in a scenario. and you have something, whatever, and you react, "Hey, I'm safe and supported." What's going on there? Like, what is the feeling
Mm,
state you were in, and now you transmuted it, alchemized it, and you spoke into existence, "I'm safe and supported."
yeah.
What is the change? What's the delta? So where you were and where you are, and how is that the evidence for you?
I've purified a lot of things,
Mhm.
so I'm not really reactive at all in the world anymore. I have a very deep understanding that nothing can hurt me. And I think it's because I experienced a lot of like chaotic illusions since a child growing up. And then it's the whole like, but did you die? But did you die? No, we didn't. We survived, right? So um, then I also I've been applying this for so long that I understand it's my energy, my presence that's so influential in the world around me. And so I don't think anything can hurt me. So even if I see like I've seen some really crazy things where people like run up to me and like other people like would react and think, they're gonna attack you or this. And I just look at them like I think with love. And then they stop, or like even people that maybe are projecting anger and I just look at them with love and I don't really it doesn't phase me anymore. I'm like, oh, this is interesting, nothing can hurt me. Um there's so many things, right? Like I used to do this a lot more with like financial things, right? Like the illusion of like having a bill that you don't expect. How are you going to pay for it? You send it love, like I'm just like, oh, this is a reflection of me. How can it hurt me? And then you find ways. The path opens up, whether you have a conversation with the institution, whether you're going to get new work, new opportunities, whether the money literally falls out of nowhere, So the body is reactive, but that doesn't mean that you have to be. And I've done a lot of that, like, I'm purifying, and yeah, life becomes a lot more fun that way. Nothing is really attacking us, guys, only if you allow it to have that truth for you, right? Like, if you believe that, the car is gonna crash into you or whatever, like, you're carrying that fear with you.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I don't know if I explained it well.
Yeah.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I think a little tweak to it would be, how is it the evidence? So that's the message. So how is you speaking to existence? How is that the evidence for you? Now, keep in mind, it's not the evidence out there; it's the evidence within you. How is it the evidence for you? When you speak something to existence, everything's okay. I'm safe and supported. Where is the evidence in that? Without identifying with what the appearance validates the evidence for you. Like, what's the evidence
It's
within?
it's going back to your fulfillment without looking for a result. So it's very much not like I'm doing this to get, where I used to maybe at some point, I think all of us when we learn about law of attraction and whatnot, you're like, oh my God. But it really becomes like I'm looking for internal fulfillment and relief. And because at previous years, a long time ago, my mind was so chaotic and like one would say like in panic, I didn't care if I got anything external. I just wanted internal relief. And that was my
Mm.
biggest thing. I want to feel peace. What does peace feel like? And that's where I went into this whole like health and wellness and peace and meditations. And it was interesting because it was seek first the kingdom of God, right? So I find the peace. I find myself learning how to serve myself, right? So I'm giving myself the water. For me, like meditation is like water. I'm consuming it only so that my mind and my body can feel at ease. That's why I'm like, it's easy. You want to relax your mind and your body. Now, of course, it's a lot easier once you have the momentum, right? We have the momentum, and then we understand the synergy between the external, internal world. Guys, in the manifestation communities, you don't need it to be peaceful and like do all these processes to manifest. We know this because we're always manifesting. However, why would you want to create a reality where you have objects and you're still stressed out and chaotic and like your mind is panicking? You get what I'm saying? So like, yeah, so it's really like being centered in your fulfillment. And when I give it to myself, you're gonna realize that the reflection starts bending towards you anyway.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's really great. I think what you're truly saying is that you believe how you feel. You're purifying what's illusory at any time,
Mhm.
and believing how you feel is sheer power. And by purifying it with love, that's the evidence. So you're really what you're doing is you're remembering who you are, which is love.
Yeah.
That is evidence. So you're really reminding
Yeah,
yourself of who you are. That's the evidence. Like, I am love. That's the evidence. The
yeah,
evidence is peace, fulfillment,
yeah,
relaxation, calmness. That's the evidence.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's the byproduct of the
yeah,
evidence, and you believe it because you always
yeah,
believe how you feel. I'm at peace now. Who did it? I did it. That's the evidence.
yeah. Yeah, and it's accessible to you guys right now, to all of us, no matter what's happening, like, you could have even actually been, you know, I don't wanna put any things in people's awareness, but whatever illusion of chaos, even if it's health related, guys, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, you don't understand. This is, like, more important." No, you could feel at peace despite circumstances, and you can, like, feel the love of who you are and then just accept it, "Okay, like, what's the worst that can happen?" Even this timeline, this like physical experience is also temporary, right? So like, being at peace with the experiences that you have, that we have, and like the development of them, like that's gonna help us and every single person watching like so much. Because then you're like I told Mitch, if I had a cold and, for example, for a week straight I couldn't leave my bed, I'm in my head on vacation. I'm on a cruise. I'm imagining that I'm like drinking cocktails, like and going into the ocean, because that's gonna get me out of that predicament. But if you allow your mind to wallow into like that little tiny experience, it's gonna be even more terrible for you. So I suggest it. I live this as my truth, and I really, wish and hope the best for every one of us to be able to fulfill that peace right now.
Yeah, yeah, really walking by faith instead of by sight is the evidence. And the more you do it, the more you believe in yourself. And that's truly the message here is believing in yourself and learning how to believe yourself because you always believe how you feel. And the more you do this, the more you believe how you feel, the more you realize that you are the evidence. And
Yeah,
that's really the ultimate part in this journey is really knowing who you are. It's a constant journey of an autobiography of learning who you are. It's a love story and I think that's ultimately the evidence is that you are writing the love story because you always believe how you feel. So
yeah.
I think that's really the ultimate message here, and I think we're almost out of time. And is there any other words, Steph?
Just, you guys, you want to be part of our stories, leave us comments, and let us know what's going on in your life, success stories. Let us know if you want to be on our videos, maybe just voice if that's what you want to share some cool stuff or even like help us clarify some things you might have questions about. So, yeah, we would really appreciate you and we're so happy you're here with us.
Yeah, so thank you very much for joining us today on I Am the Evidence. And truly, this is a great episode. And if you do want to be a part of this and you want to help us out or have any ideas, certainly you'll find the link in the description. But I'll write this out here by saying that I am the evidence. I am the truth. The truth is your proof. And you always believe how you feel in every case. And the more you do that, you walk by faith and not by sight. And on that note, I am Mitch.
And I'm Stephania. Bye,
Love you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.